Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. It is Raznac and we are back in the world of Factorio. Last episode we took care of our circuits, which we have a nice big beautiful green line of circuits here. We took care of our gears, and today we're going to be taking care of science. We're going to get both red science and green science up and finished and working and all that good stuff. Before we get there, let me put down some radars. I didn't have any radars running. Power is good. If you click on these power poles, I don't know if I've said it, you can look at your power. Our total production capability is 7.2 megawatts or I don't even know what that is. Is that megawatts? Sure. Milliwatt? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not an engineer. I'm just a dumb guy that plays games. And so right now we actually have a little science production over here. It's nothing too fancy. But it's pushing us through slowly, and we want to speed that up and make that a little quicker. So let's grab up a bunch of belts. I already have a bunch of factories. If you haven't noticed, I have more iron coming through. We have a bunch of iron now, which we want to feed that iron because we're going to use lots and lots of iron. Copper, not so much. We're not going to use tons and tons of copper right now, but iron we will need a bunch of. Now let's jump up here and let's get started building the science. Now we're actually going to start that that's which way do we want to build, left or right? We really need to build this way, and those spiders are going to be a problem eventually, but they're not a problem right now. So this is going to be, again, like I said, your best space is your friend in Factorio. And you're like, oh Raz, you got all this empty space. It'll all get used. This will all get filled in with smelters, and all this down here will get filled in with oil production. There's all kinds of stuff that eventually we will get into, but as it sits right now, we're going to move kind of this way and over for our science. So let's clear these stones out of the way. One of these days we'll have robots that do all this for us. We just mark stuff for deletion and these little robots come out and delete it. It's kind of awesome and fun and a good time. All right, so this is our main bus. Again, this is going to go way up this way. So we're going to want to build off to the left or to the right when it comes to our bus. Normally I go left and right with the bus and then build up or down. So it's a little different for me. But bear with me as I get my bearings. Now, red science is very easy. Red science takes copper. It takes copper plates and iron gears. Very simple. No problem. Not hard at all. So let's go ahead and place down. We'll place down like a few. 1, 3. Let's just go with 5. I think 5 should be enough. Yeah, crafting time on red science is very fast. Red science, there we go. We got all red science. Again, takes copper plates and iron gears. So what we want to do is what's called a split belt, or we want a belt that has 2 items on it, right? Because a belt has 2 sides. It has a far side and a near side, right? There's 2 items on this belt. Now what we want is we actually want both items on one side. So we want copper plate on one side and gears on the other. And you ask yourself, Raz, how are you going to do this? Well, let me tell you, my friends, it's actually pretty easy. I'm not a very smart man. This is pretty basic stuff, especially for anyone who's played Factorio. All right, so easy peasy. We're going to bring our iron up just like that. We're going to pull it off the line just like we would before. And what you know, I don't have enough underground belts. Go grab some underground belts. If you hear a ruckus in the background, there's a Nerf war going on upstairs in my house right now. Some people are being shot at. Flossie is currently battling small children with Nerf guns, which I'm going to join them as soon as I'm done with this episode. So there's a Nerf war in my future. If you don't hear from me ever again, you know how it ended. All right, so we're pulling this off again. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. What we're going to do is we're going to go this way this time. Boop. And we're going to go underground belts just a couple times. And of course, I didn't do this right. I'm off 1. Yeah. Still off 1. All right, there we go. And we're going to do these underground belts like so. I did it wrong too. I did this wrong. No, I'll show you why. Brain's not where I'm being distracted by the Nerf war. All right, so let's do this. Actually, we're going to go up this high. We're going to go like this. You're like, Raz, you'll get this at some point. I will succeed, I promise. What we want to do is we want to do just like that. And it may look silly, but it's all going to make sense to you, I promise. My famous last words, right? Let's run our belt up. Split off this way. You're going to see this copper come in. And what we're going to do, we're going to side load onto this belt. Just like this. And when you see this copper come through, it's only going to load on one side. It keeps it nice and neat and pretty. Just like we did down here with our smeltery. Remember, we side loaded. Side loading onto the belt. So that's what we're going to do there. So we're going to do the exact same thing with the gears. So we're going to bring our gear belt up the bus. And we're going to space it here, right here. We need it like, I think like so. Should be all right. Should be all right. Sometimes you have to take into account, nope, that still worked out. That's actually too far. Want it here. Want it here, Raz. There we go. Just like that. That's how we want it. Let's delete that and that. A puzzle. Factorio is a puzzle. I feel like I'm messing up something somewhere. Spacing just looks off. Might just be in my head. Probably is in my head. Like this. Okay, now we got it. All right. Sometimes it's hard to see the spacing. There we go. It took me a minute to figure that one out. Oh my gosh, turn it off now. All right, so we're going to side load that right onto that belt. And now we have all of our belts, or both of our materials needed for red science. So again, very, very simple. And then what we're going to do, we're going to run the belt way out here. We're going to go way out. I don't know if we need to go that far, but we're going to. Because I like to have space. Eventually, you'll be amazed at how quick you start filling in all these gaps. And there is our red science, just like that. We're going to run power. Do up power poles while we're running power poles. Power poles are expensive. What we'll do is we're going to... Ugly, but it's going to work. Bring our power poles straight north. Once we get into what's oil refining and all those things, you will see how quickly you run out of space. It's pretty wild how fast things will change and how quickly, like I said, you run out of space. It's pretty nuts, actually. Let's get all of our power poles set up like so, and now we have red science. And if you look, you can see red science dumping on the side of the belt, just like so. What we're going to do is we're going to go down here. We're going to put in 1, 2, enough room. 3. In fact, we want another belt here, which we'll explain in a later episode. I'm just pre-building. 1, 2, 3. Let's do this one here, that one there. And, oh, I didn't do that right. I always forget to leave room for inserters. I'm horrible at this game. Horrible! You're awful, Raz. Shouldn't be playing. Always forget to leave the gap. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Just like that. What we're going to do is we're actually going to put long inserters in with these, which will make sense later on, because the reason why is you have, this will actually eventually be 4 different colors of science. We'll have red, green, military science. So there's there's each science has a name. There's automation science, there's logistics science, there's military science, and then blue science. And I can't remember what blue science is called. Then what we're going to do here is we want long inserter on one side, short inserter on the other. Just like so. We'll do the same here. In fact, I have to turn these because I don't have them set up right. Do our science here. And got power. Again, always hooking up, always running power. Always feel like the electric guy. And boom. Now we've got all kinds of science running. Why is this working? Is it missing? Missing science. What did I do wrong? Oh, duh. How did I manage that? How did I manage that wackiness? We'll get rid of those. Why are you... No. We don't... Quit feeding the belt. Stupid machine. Alright, now we should be good. Should be. I may have not left myself enough room. It's gonna be tight, but we'll be alright. Alright, so there is our red science. And you can see we are already sped up. Now, that's it for red science. Now, everything going forward is going to take red and green science to complete. You can see this takes 2 different sciences as we advance. Why are you doing that? That's why. I had the inserters the wrong way. This one too. Oh my. Geez. Is it better now? Yeah, okay. We'll come back to it. Now, so just like we have red science here, what we want on this other side is we're going to want green science. We want green science to insert all of our products, and I think I want 6 green sciences. Yeah, because it takes 6 seconds to craft one, which would give us 1 per second. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's... If that makes sense to you. You're probably like, I don't know what you're talking about, Raz. Drop these in here. Now this is going to be a little more complicated. And the reason why it's going to be a little more complicated, we're going to build some stuff locally for the green science. Just real quick. We're going to bring this down this way. We want our inserters. It's not going to be hugely complicated, but it's going to take a little bit of thinking. And as you move along, you will see things get a little more and more difficult. As our recipes get more complicated, we need more and more items to feed through. But you can see we got a nice, good amount of science cooking here, right? It's doing great. We're actually going to disable the stuff down here later. We're going to dump green science onto the other belt. So what we need for green science, if you look at the green science recipes, we actually need a transport belt and an inserter. So we actually have to craft items. It's not going to be raw goods, it's going to be items. So we need iron plates and iron gears for transport belts, and we need iron plates, iron gears, and electric circuits for the other item. A little different. It's going to be pretty simple. We will actually do this quite easily. Let's put that here. Let's put that there. This will be inserters, and this will be transport belts. We'll feed out, feed in. I think you guys might already know what's going on here. Yes. So, like I said, we need iron plates and iron gears. Iron plates and iron gears, and then electric circuits. So what we need to do on this belt is we need to side load a few items. But we don't want to get on our bus too much there. We're going to bring that up that way. Just like this. This is kind of ugly. I really don't like this, but we'll make it work. So we're side loading iron plates onto that, just like so. And just like we did earlier, I'm going to bring this up this way. Just trying to get my spacing. Boom. Bring our splitter. And like that. No problem at all. Now we have iron plates and iron gears. So this will be taken care of. Oh, I did screw this up. I did. I messed up because I want those on both sides of the belt. So how do I want to do this? This is how I want to do this. This is ugly. This is horrible. I don't know. I got to figure this out. Gonna give me a headache. My OCD is gonna start kicking in. That puts it on this side. We want inserters on the other side. How we want to do this. Can't, let's just queue up research even though we can't do it yet. How do I have my iron belts, but I want the plates on this side. I guess what we could do is, let's do this. Yeah, there we go. Now you're thinking, Raz. Just like that. What we'll use a long hand inserter that way. Now we need we need circuits here. So like, what we're gonna do, I'm gonna bring our circuit belt up. This is going to feed off just like that. This is just a continuation. So sloppy. But I want to feed into this right here. What I want. That's what I want. I don't know. Forgive me for I can't figure out what I'm doing. There we go. Let's do this. Yep, that looks right. All right. That. Because we want the gears to skip, we're going to do that. Okay. So our bus will continue with gears and then we can pull off. Sorry. Like I said, normally I build left to right and then I build the productions up and down. So this is a little different for me. But yeah, that should be our setup. So we have gears coming in this way. We have this line feeding these two productions that way. Then all we really should need is power. Let's see what happens here. Let's see if my plan was successful. There it is, yes. And just like that, we have inserters and belts on the line. Nothing to it. Let's run power to all of our factories. And we are good to go. And now we have green science. Just like that, right? Oh my gosh, it was a horrible struggle. This is suboptimal. I need to figure. I really don't like how this looks, but it's okay because it's not on. It doesn't impede our main bus, but there's a lot of junk close to it. I should have moved off a little bit, but it'll be okay. This will work. I feel like I got room here. I just feel like this is messy. I don't like it. I don't like it. It looks kind of messy, but we can eliminate that belt. We can optimize this later. But as you can see right here, we have a nice full belt. We have green science being made. Green science is being fed into our science factories. And now we have ability to research all of these. Look at all this stuff that takes green. There's so much green science. And as you can see, as we advance, like this takes red, green, and blue. This takes red, green, gray, and blue. Eventually you need yellow science and purple science. And then finally the big one is there's red, green. I mean, there's so many different kinds of science that are required in order to get like atomic bombs. You name it, there's going to be tons and tons of it. I feel like we're not... Might have to add a couple more green science factories. I feel like I'm not making inserters fast enough. You know what we need? We need a fast inserter. Because if we watch... See, we have a delay with the item ingredient. Like, we're missing gears. See? So there's a little pause with the gears. So let's make a fast inserter. Which does it things a little bit. Let's see if that helps. There we go. Now, as you can see, now it's a continuous doop, doop, 1 a second. Because now we're not running out. Just working exactly how we want it to. Everything is a balance. See, this military science, that's going to be next on the list. There we go. We just want to make sure we got enough items for everything. Yes, 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 yes. All right, there we go. That's it. Our pass-through is complete. If you ever wanted to check that, you can hit P, right? And then we can go to I like to go to 10 minute. What you can do is you can look at your production rate. So we're producing 105 inserters every 10 minutes right here. And we're consuming 65 inserters every 10 minutes. Same goes for belts. We're producing 270 belts. We're consuming 60 belts. So we have a surplus of items, which is very, very good. Eventually, later on, what we can do is, because we use a lot of belts, we use a lot of inserters, so you can just come through here. You can just grab this stuff right off the line, fill your inventory up. We can also put a chest with an inserter and grab stuff that way. Now the science is flowing in. Look at, just flowing in like a champ. We're cooking. Look at all of our science stuff's done. Things are going well, and I hope you've had a wonderful weekend. Thank you very much for tuning in. That's going to be it for this episode. There is red and green science for you. I hope that helped. If it made it more confusing, just send me some hate messages and say how bad I am at this. I normally do farm sim. I hope this is fun to watch as I flounder around and try to be intelligent. We can, like I said, we're gonna delete all these. We don't need any of this stuff now. This can all go away. And such is Factorio. It's a constant evolving and changing world, because we don't need that down there when we want all of our science up here. Yeah, things are progressing along. It looks pretty good. We're going to add some lights and some other stuff. Things start getting ramped up fairly quick at this point. Things are going to start going much faster. We're going to start adding all kinds of production lines off of this main bus, all kinds of stuff being made. I think in the next episode, we're going to work on what's called a hub, which, geez, that was a fast research, which allows us to make all of the belts, inserters, factories, everything we need to expand our factory. We'll make a factory to build our factory. That's Factorio. I just used the word fact 3 times. All right, that's enough of this. I am rambling at this point. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Thank you so very much for watching, and until next time, stay safe. See you later. Bye-bye.